They say marriage is built on love, respect, and understanding. But what happens when the person you trust the most turns into the one who humiliates you in front of the whole world? My name is David, and this is the story of the night my wife, Sarah, publicly insulted me, and how I made sure she never did it again. It was supposed to be a perfect evening. Sarah and I had been invited to a grand celebration at her parents' house, a gathering filled with businessmen, socialites, and family friends. Unlike most of them, I came from nothing. When I married Sarah, I was a struggling worker trying to build a future. She, on the other hand, was from a wealthy family. They had never approved of me, but I worked hard to provide for Sarah, sacrificing my own dreams just to make her happy. Little did I know, that night would be the turning point of my life. I was standing there, sipping my drink, when suddenly I heard her voice rise above the chatter. She was laughing at me.
Oh, David, he could never handle running a business like my father does. Poor guy can barely manage fixing a leaky sink.
Laughter erupted. My face burned. I forced a smile, but inside, something snapped. I wasn't just embarrassed. I was humiliated. She kept going, throwing insult after insult, making me look weak and useless in front of everyone. Her father chuckled, her mother smirked, and every guest at that party looked at me with pity or amusement. But that wasn't the worst part. As I turned away, trying to drown my humiliation in silence, I saw her with another man, Jason, a wealthy businessman who had always hovered around Sarah. She laughed with him, touched his arm, whispered things in his ear. My blood boiled. I felt like a fool. Sarah wasn't just insulting me. She was showing everyone, including me, that she didn't respect me anymore. And worse, she had found someone richer. I wanted to disappear. But then, something inside me shifted. If Sarah thought she could walk all over me, she was mistaken. I wasn't going to yell or cause a scene. No, I was going to teach her a lesson she'd never forget. Sarah acted as if nothing had happened. She didn't even acknowledge what she had done. That's when I decided I was going to show her that the man she married wasn't the pushover she thought he was. That night, while she was sleeping, I packed my things and left. Not forever, but to build myself into the man I was always meant to be. I started from the ground up. I worked late nights, took risks, invested smartly, and built my own empire. Day and night, I pushed myself beyond my limits. While Sarah was out spending time with Jason, enjoying his wealth, I was building my own. I worked in factories, took extra shifts, and slept on cold floors just to save money. Every insult Sarah had thrown at me fueled my determination. I read business books, attended seminars, and learned everything I could about finance and investment. I knew I wouldn't just be rich, I would be powerful. Years passed. My business flourished. I became successful beyond what Sarah or her family ever thought possible. But I never forgot that night. The way she had humiliated me, discarded me like I was worthless. And I was going to make sure she remembered it too. One evening, Sarah went shopping, as she often did. But this time, her platinum credit card was declined. Confused, she tried another. Same result. Panic set in, and she called me.
David, something's wrong with our accounts.
I smiled on the other end of the line. Oh, that's strange. Maybe you should handle it yourself. After all, I can barely fix a leaky sink. Silence. Then a sharp intake of breath. She knew something was wrong. I had been quietly pulling strings. The businesses her family owned, I had slowly bought them out. The wealth Jason flaunted, I had strategically crushed his investments. One by one, I dismantled everything she had relied on. Sarah went from a life of luxury to watching everything slip through her fingers. The parties, the shopping sprees, the social circles, they all disappeared. And Jason? The moment he realized Sarah wasn't wealthy anymore, he left without a second thought. When she got home, I was waiting. Tears welled in her eyes.
David, what happened?
I leaned back, calm. I just decided to take charge of my own life. You seemed to think I was incapable, so I figured I'd prove you wrong. Her face twisted in shock and regret.
David, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to.
Oh, but you did, I interrupted. You insulted me in front of your family, your friends. You humiliated me. And now? Now you're learning what it feels like to lose everything. She fell to her knees, sobbing.
Please, David, I was wrong. I was blind. I let my pride ruin everything. But I never stopped loving you.
I stared at her for a long time. I had waited for this moment, dreamed of it. But as I looked at her, I realized something. Revenge wasn't about destroying her. It was about making her see my worth. I didn't forgive her instantly. Respect isn't restored overnight. But we began again, slowly. She had to earn my trust back, just like I had to rebuild my dignity. This time, on my terms. Once the arrogant and entitled woman who mocked me now stood beside me, humbled and devoted. She worked to prove she had changed, that she valued me not for my wealth, but for who I was. She started small, learning the struggles of an ordinary life, and for the first time, she understood what I had gone through. And me? I learned that self-respect is non-negotiable. That in love, as in life, dignity must always come first.